we're going to go through the conferences.
Okay.
And we're going to say what teams have a realistic chance of making the playoffs.
Okay.
Okay. I already got mine down.
Making the CFP.
Making the CFP. And then Neal, we're going to talk about how many teams do you think realistically have a shot to win the damn thing?
To win the whole thing.
To win the whole damn thing.
Okay. All right. Sounds fun.
So we'll start with the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Neal, the ACC. And if you disagree, these are the 4 teams I think have a legitimate chance, roster-wise, to find themselves in the playoffs different ways.
Okay.
I got 4.
Oh, okay.
I got 4.
That's ambitious.
I'm not saying all 4 are getting in.
I understand. This is, to be clear.
Yes.
To be clear, for the people who hate and they rage.
They will.
You rage tweet.
You
lose your minds.
Yep.
Calm down. Let's try it again.
Try it again. Number 1, Neal.
These are teams that we believe could have a path to make the playoff.
This is correct.
That's it.
That's it. That's all. Deep breath. Neal, team number 1.
Okay.
The Miami Hurricanes. Are you shocked? Are you shocked?
No, I agree with you on Miami. Miami has a very legitimate path to make the playoff.
All right, and then I was listening to Josh Pate. I think this was last week. I don't know. My brain's starting to fry a little bit. I was listening to Josh. Josh had a great point, okay? I'm going to talk about some questions, but Josh brings up a great point. Questions aren't weaknesses.
No.
Okay? The only really question, first of all, they got Darian Mensah at quarterback, transferred from Duke, transferred before that from Tulane. I've seen him live and in person before. I think this guy's a real deal. If it was, I think he's in the conversation to be the best quarterback in the country. I would probably put him in that 1-2 for me. I like C.J. Carr at Notre Dame, but Mensah's right there with him. So they got the quarterback part right. So the interesting thing, and when you say, is there a question about Miami? And it's not even a question because I don't doubt it or all that stuff. Is they're losing real players up front on both sides of the ball. And if you watch them, when they got in their groove last year, they completely dominated both lines of scrimmage late in the year, particularly in the playoffs. That's how they got to where they were. They were lining up and freaking playing duo play-action pass on offense and just pounding you to death. They had a power running game going. And then defensively, they could get to you with the front 4. One interesting part here with their offensive line I thought was very interesting, okay? In their offensive line, all of these guys that are going to be playing for them and starting for them are homegrown. There's no portal guys.
Okay.
So the question is, hey, those guys are going to be, they've been homegrown. They understand the culture. They've been through Miraball's a great offensive line coach. Obviously, Mario's a gread offensive line coach. He's the head coach. It's something he takes personal. But they don't have a bunch of portal guys up front. It's their guys that they've had there. So, but having to replace that, how does that look? But the rest of them are going to be great, right? And then defensively, same thing with the defensive line. I think they're going to be really good. I mean, they are like, I'm talking about, they probably got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, probably 9. They probably got 10 of their 11 starters on defense are probably going to play in the NFL. Now, you're still having to replace the starters from last year, Mesidor and all the guys, and Bain that were just so dominant up front. They're having to replace that. But again, they got the right guys. So that would be, if I had questions, that would be it. How do they play together? Because you never know with how they play together and all that stuff. But from just an overall, I think they'll be a contender. But those are questions. I know as we go into this, I can probably say offensive line is going to be a question mark for our team because I haven't talked to a single coach yet that goes, hey, man, our offensive line's great. Haven't talked to one.
I talked to a person yesterday who said that's just everyone's understanding that this is kind of sport wide.
Yeah, it is what it is.
So I mean, you take a contending team and they lose 3 offensive line starters for some reason, they're probably no longer a contending team.
It's going to be difficult
out of their control. Yeah, it is what it is. Yep.
All right, team number 2. A lot of Ole Miss fans will get to see this up close and personal. The Louisville Cardinals. A lot of people forget that Louisville actually beat Miami last year. They got the Brown and Brown show at running back. Look, there's a lot of questions like, hey, they got the Con Holtz kid from Ohio State, transfers to be the starting quarterback at Louisville. But I will say this. I've always said this. I think Brom is probably of all, you're always like, who's the best coaches? He gets left off all those lists. And if I was an AD and I was hiring a coach, he's getting a phone call. You know what I mean? Like he would be on my regard. If I used to say, hey, you can pick any coach to interview, he's getting I don't care how short the list is, he's getting a call. The guy's won everywhere he's been. He is a offensive mastermind, and it's like, and he's such he develops. I love that system. Y'all know that if you've listened to the show longer than this is a Petrino family system. I love that system. I think it's elite when it comes to finding mismatches and motions and adjustments. They always, and it has answers. I love the system. I think he's a great coach. I mean, he won at Purdue. He's won everywhere he's been, right? Mm-hmm. So I think the guy's a hell of a coach. And so I think they have a legit shot to get to the playoffs. Although, is there one or is there two teams? And I'm going to say this as we get in, we're talking this playoff discussion. I think this is the year that the number 10, because of the SEC doing what they're doing, and we'll get to the SEC in a second, and how I think they're going to cannibalize each other. I think the number 10 is so critical for all these Power 4 conferences. And you look at this, Ole Miss and Louisville playing. I mean, these are two teams that when they leave the hotel on Saturday or Sunday or whatever day they play on, they expect to win, and somebody's not. And now you got 11 more to go play. So, but getting to 10 is critical. But I think that their path, obviously, if they're playing, if they lost that game, then obviously went into the league with a championship game. All right, any disagreement so far?
Nope.
Team number 3. This is not any order, by the way. The SMU Mustangs. I think they've done an unbelievable job building a roster. They've been kind of ahead of the game a little bit when it comes to building rosters as far as contracts and how they handle things in the culture.
Got a lot of money in Highland Park.
They do. They have a lot of money, but they've been doing it. They're not spending like.
Well, you don't have to in the ACC.
Yeah, they're not spending as much as you like the other teams are doing, right? But
you don't have to.
But they're spending. Don't get me wrong. They're spending.
Yeah. But you don't have to spend $50 million or $40 million in the ACC to make the playoff.
Well, here's the other thing.
Because you don't play an SEC schedule or a Big Ten schedule. You play an ACC schedule.
I think it's a team that a lot of schools probably should need to study if that information ever became public. Because one of the reasons I think that they're not spending as much is I think they're smarter with their contracts. I think they've done a good job with their contracts and leading up to where they don't have to go out and overspend all the time, right? So, but Jennings is coming back. They got really good players, and I think they're going to have. I'm a big Rhett Lashley guy. I think he's really good. I think they're going to be a contender year in, year out, as long as he's there and as long as we're in this era for sure. All right, and the last team is the Clemson Tigers. A lot of people sleeping on the old Clemson Tigers, Neal.
I disagree with you here, but go ahead.
Okay, a lot of people sleeping on the Clemson Tigers. Everybody's this, everybody's that. I'm not sleeping on the old Clemson Tigers. Look, Clemson is going to come down pretty simple. Everybody's like, well, what happened to this team? They got to have good quarterback play. At the end of the day, that's what they got. If they want to get to the next thing, you got Chad Morris back as the offensive coordinator. But you got Vizina. I always mispronounce this kid's name. He's from Briarwood, but Chris Vizina. Look, he's been around. He's 4th year in the program. He's been there. He understands what it's all about, what they do. But they got good players, okay? And if they had good quarterback play last year, they'd have won a couple more games. And people forget 2 years ago they were in the playoffs, and everybody's wanting to fire Dabo and all this stuff. And I just say, well, you're going to fire a guy that's won 2 national championships in 168 games in the last 15 years. Like, we've moved on. Like, it's so week to week now. But inside the ACC, people seem to forget they were a 9-win team when they went to the ACC championship game a couple years ago, right? So finding a way to do that inside that league, and I think they got some games, and they've avoided some landmines in that league schedule wise. So if they have good quarterback play, I think they can be there. So I got 4 teams I think that can get to the playoffs from the ACC. So you're at 3.
Yeah, I'm at 3, and if you told me there was a 4th, I would tell you it's not Clemson and maybe it's Virginia. But I think there's 3. I think. Look,
I think the Virginia Cavaliers are getting beat week 1.
I don't even know who they play.
North Carolina State.
Okay.
Do you know who the quarterback for Virginia is now, by the way?
No clue.
Bo Prabula, the kid from Missouri last year.
Is that right?
Yeah, I played a game the other day. I guessed the quarterback. It was pretty fun.
I would do poorly.
Do you know where Jaden Rashada is?
He is at Sacramento State.
Nope.
Incarnate Word.
Nope.
ULM.
Nope.
I don't know.
Mississippi State.
Jaden Rashad is at State? Is he really?
Yeah. You know where Jackson Arnold is?
He's still playing?
Jackson Arnold?
Yeah.
Yeah. Starting quarterback.
Oklahoma State.
UNLV. We should have played this game. I came this close to I came close. We should have played this game.
I would be terrible.
It would kind of had a lot of shuffling
It's
decks.
but I mean, I freely tell people, look, if you're coming here for football expertise, that's him.
I'm just a has-been. I'm just a has-been.
I'm not that, and don't claim to be. No, I think. And so I'll answer the second question too. Which teams out of the ACC do I think could win the national championship? I think it's just one, Miami.
Agree.
That's it.
Agree. I think they're the only one built for because it's a whole different. We're talking about making the playoffs versus there's two different formulas.
And by the way, the only way that Louisville or SMU make the playoff is if they get to the ACC championship game and pull off an upset. That's, in my opinion, that's a.
So but what if
I'm saying that is in all likelihood a one bid league. It's only a two bid league. I think the only way it's a two bid league is if an 11-1 or 12-0 Miami were to lose the ACC title game. That's it.
I disagree a little bit, but it's just because I don't think there's going to be as many SEC teams in.
Oh, you could be right.
And I think there's going to be. I think you're going to look up, and then there's a reason I've been having these 10-3, 9-3 discussions because you're going to look up. Like, all right, you look at Louisville's schedule.
I will say this. I do think behind the scenes in the month of November, if it looks like a 9-3 SEC team is going to lose out to a 10-2 or 11-1 ACC or Big 10 team, Big 12 team, I think you'll see some threats.
I'm sure you will. But
maybe publicly.
All right, I'm not going win-loss toss, but I just want their schedule, right? They avoided Miami in the schedule.
Who's they?
Louisville.
Okay.
Now, you got Ole Miss, so you just replace them, right? But they get open with Ole Miss. They got Villanova. They host SMU. All right, they host Wake Forest, who's going to be better. They're at NC State. They host Florida State. They're at Syracuse, home against Stanford, at Georgia Tech, at North Carolina, home against Pitt, and at Kentucky.
Yeah.
I think getting to 10 there, even if they lose the first game, I still think it's.
I guess my point is at 10-2, they would have to win the ACC championship game. They couldn't go 10-3 and get in.
So I think I guess my point of drill is I'm damn near convinced myself that there's not going to be enough 10-win teams in the Big 10 and SEC, and there's going to be others that are going to leave out. That's just kind of where
it could be.
In the past, it's been just the opposite. But anyway, all right, Neal.